Hello, so I thought I'd put the really bright helmet on today, like the one we were discussing last time on the last time I was on the stream. So the DP-3 arrived and it's turned on and I've got it running. Obviously you won't be able to see the numbers on here from there, but it does actually work absolutely fine. And it's also lit up, which you can hopefully see. It's not actually a fluorescent background, it's got the light and the scale on it and everything. So that's that. I've put the German Stahlhelm on that's painted with the bright UV paint because why not? So yeah, there's that. So even everybody, it's a firefighter's helmet. It's where I've covered it before, but it's basically the German fire brigade ended up making Stahlhelms out of aluminium. So not really a steel helmet anymore, is it? Helm, I guess you'd call it. And they basically painted them with super bright glow-in-the-dark colours. So, you know, you'd be super visible in the dark. But yeah, there's a DP-3 on the wall there. So to the human eye, it's very visible, but to the actual camera, the scale won't be so. But what I can show you, which is pretty cool, is now the stream's on, I can dial up the voltage ever so slightly. That should get ever so slightly brighter, the bulb inside. If I do that, you can probably see the bulb flashes red. That's doing the circuit check on it. Yeah, the DP-3 uses a really big probe. That's the DP-3's probe. It's a big gigantic iron chamber on the end of like a Geiger probe that's designed for mounting on a vehicle or a bunker. So yeah, Soviet DP-3s are really cool. So I'll sit down and have a chat with all of you now, but if that gets annoying, I'll dial that down a bit to there we go. Because yeah, the fan from the power supply will no, it's not going to explode. No, only UVC is really dangerous. UVB, as we've said before, you might not want to sit around. This stuff is UVA. The stuff that makes stuff glow in the dark is UVA. Right, I've got a new rum to try as well that came from Amazon. It's not, sadly, I was hoping it might have a UV glowing label as well. It's called Dead Man's Fingers. I don't know if it'll be any good, but we'll find out. It's got a weird seal on it. Hang on, let's turn a light on and have a look at how I'm meant to open it. It's got some sort of security seal on it, which means it's not as convenient to open as I'd hope. So, right, there we go. They're pretty much the same thing, T-ville. Oh, it's actually got a cork on this one. Smells interesting. So yeah, there we go. But yeah, that was on offer at the moment on Amazon. I thought as I've started getting into rum again, I'd try it. So hello everybody joining. So the most exciting thing other than the UV light is the Soviet DP-3 Rontganometer running in the background there. It's wall mounted and fully working. If you can hear a whir, it's the fan on the power supply that's powering it that's just doing that. I'm glad you find all the masks and all that interesting. All right, let's see what this tastes like then. Not bad. It's got very strong like aftertaste, you know, like a spiced aftertaste. It's not bad, but yeah. Well, that one I've got, Mike, or is it a different type of rum? Right, the range is on the DP-3. The video comes out on it next week, but The display on it does, it has two scales. It has the top scale, which is 0, 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, and 1. So that's the scale used on most of the multipliers. So on times 1, that would be, for example, 0, 200 millirontgen, 400 millirontgen, 600 millirontgen, 800 millirontgen, 1 rontgen. Times 10 would be 2 rontgen, 4 rontgen, 6 rontgen, 8 rontgen, 10 rontgen. Times 100, 20 rontgen, 40 rontgen, 60 rontgen, 80 rontgen, 100 rontgen. Then if you use the 500, you use the bottom scale, and then basically on the bottom scale, you just use that, so it goes from 0 to 500 rontgen. So it doesn't measure background radiation, because it's a big old, not very sensitive ion chamber, but it can withstand levels of radiation that would kill you. So there we are. So the DP-3 is really cool. I just like how retro it is, and that's from probably the 1950s. Still works, I do love Soviet engineering. I'm good, Henry, thank you. Hello, Altrix. So yeah, good evening, everybody. Apologies if I miss any questions from people, but the problem is when I start demonstrating one thing, you end up. But yeah, that's very similar, basically, in ranges to the US CDV 715 and 717. The 717, the one that has the remote cable, it's basically like the same thing as that, because the ranges are pretty much the exact same. Cool. So you had some of the Dead Man's Fingers, whatever it was called. No, not a radium screen tool. Doesn't have a backlight on it. If I turn power supply for it off, you'll see the light will go off on it. There we go. It's just got a bulb in there. It uses a really big old bulb. I bought some modern ones that are the same fitting as it, so I can hopefully get a much brighter bulb in there. If you open the ionization chamber up, put it directly on stuff, you'll get a little bit of movement. But when I did the video, I didn't bother digging out loads of stuff from the safe to actually, get it to register. It would work absolutely fine. All the parts are still working on it. It's just, I didn't want to really expose myself. It plugs into a 12 or 24 volt power supply. So in theory, you could run it off of batteries, but it runs off of a cable that's going down to there that then goes to my PSU, my bench PSU. I've taken that into this room now. So basically what I can do is, you can't see it because it's behind a chair, but I've got that in here. So if ever I want to wire up one of those wall counters, I can do that. The fuses in it at the moment are obviously set to about 24, 26 volts. That's fine. But normally it'd be anywhere between 12 and 24 volts you'd run it. So yeah, you've got that's the power supply cable. This is your cable that goes to your giant ionization chamber. And what I'll do is I'll open this up, because this is very easy to assemble and disassemble and reassemble. So that's just a connector plug there, a bit like with the Polish one. But yeah, this is the interesting bit. So you've got two thumb screws, which I did up pretty tight, so let me get those undone. Now, I've got GP4s, GP5s, GP7s. I don't have any of the older GPs than that. Istvan Sus, if I pronounced your name right, says, can I get a shout out and make videos about FFP masks? So you might find some good info on them. All right, yeah, cool. There you go. If he does the videos he says he does, check out Istvan's videos then. Hello, Peach. So yeah, what I'm just trying to do at the moment is hand undo these to get into the probe. Thank you very much, Jesus. He says, thank you for just suggesting the FP5 filters for those of us that have GP5s and want to use them. As an American who went to a protest saved me from gas. Oh, that's good, it works. So you obviously did get one that was dated properly, because I don't know if you saw my recent video. But it seems FP5 filters after a certain date aren't GOST anymore. They're like a NATO thread. But obviously, if it works, then it worked. So that was a good bit. Still trying to just get this undone without pliers. Right, there's that one. Let's get the other two. I'll need to get the screwdriver for the other two. Yeah, it's interesting that this is a Soviet radiation detector that doesn't use a Geiger counter module, because that's what they nearly all use. The Soviets were big fans of Geigers. Right, let's pull it out. Has an interesting smell. So there's your big case. That's pretty boring. That's your ion chamber. That bit there is an ion chamber. Basically a box with an electrical charge running through it. And there's all your resistors that, you know, do all the other bits. Calibration control is there, etc. If it wants to focus. Right, that's good. It works, then, Jesus. I'm glad it did work on all that for you. But yeah, some other like vacuum tubes on that side of it. But yeah, the main device is that ion chamber there. I have been on Discord. I was on Discord this morning, young rail enthusiast. If you mean, have I not been chatting on the sort of audio chats? No. It's just the UV lighting. Bake light at the bottom, peach, and then the actual chamber itself is kind of metallic. But yeah, so for all the people asking questions, do I have this helmet? Do I have that helmet? Because I've already started drinking tonight, I would say, don't ask me on a live chat if I've got a certain model of helmet. I would say, look on a video. If I've done a video on it, I probably have it. If not, I don't. But yeah. So this is a DP-3 Rontgenometers probe. Oh, thank you very much, AK. He says, haven't been able to donate. Hopefully this works. It does work. Thank you. But yeah. So the DP-3 was the last big purchase for a while. My last big purchase was going to be that DPS-68. And then weirdly, it turned out my dad owed me some money from a load of stuff I'd been doing for him for ages, and I never got round to asking him for it. So I was like, all right, I'll just get the DP-3 of that money then, won't I? So yeah, there we go. So that is the DP-3, basically. And then, yeah, to reassemble it, pretty simple. You get your probe, you get this. You figure out which way is the right way the probe goes in. I think that way. Yeah, there we go. You push the pins in. And then you screw that back in. Then your DP-3 is back working again. And just to prove it does work, let's flick it on and put it back up to the 24 odd volts. There we go. And it should just warm up and then do the test circuit check. Yeah, there we go. Ooh. It's a bit active at the moment. Might be if I got some moisture inside this, actually. Oh, there we go. Right, that's coming back down. And that should bring it back up. Yep. All right, there we go. Yep. Good. The DP-3 works fine. All right, bots. Oh, I know which one the DRM-3 is. Yeah, I've not got one. But it's really interesting because, yeah, it's got the bit where you can actually have an alpha mica window at the end of the probe, doesn't it? It's very good for an old sort of commie block one. Well, I know Yugoslavia wasn't really commie block, but you know what I mean. But yeah, the DP-3 is really cool. For the most uses, it's completely useless, but it's a really nice wall decoration. Right, here's the thing, AJ. This is the kind of weird thing. The most of the times I've got electric shocks from things, it's been from stuff that should be safe, where there's been an issue. So weirdly, a lot of the time when I take apart old military tech, it ends up being a lot safer than when you end up, you know, doing very, very minor stuff, you know, using batteries and croc clips. Any old masks behind me? Not so much behind me, because most of the older masks I've put away now again, because obviously I tidied everything up. it's already looking a bit messier, isn't it? I've got the not the FMJ, the MF11D hype sent me in the background here because that's still relevant and it's really cool. Obviously on there's some older masks, I guess, but not anything really rare. The Chinese panoramic one, Canadian C4 right at the back there. But yeah, for the most part. Yeah, I figured that, AJ, because it's the same profile picture. That's right, Rich, but was it still at least strong enough that it wouldn't be an issue? Yeah, so that's the weird thing, like you're on about bots the other day with those ROU masks. I have an ROU somewhere, but those Soviet PTMs, I would say, in my opinion, are better made than the ROUs, which is kind of weird. In terms of, like, craftsmanship, they feel a lot better. Yeah. Let me get it down so you can see it a bit better. I mean, I've done videos on them anyway, but... Now, weirdly, this one is better quality than this one. Although apparently these weren't factory made, they were made to instructions. This one is made with all the elastic bands on. The white one was just literally made with like the bare minimum of, you know, bits to tie it. This one also has glass eyepieces in. The other one, just you had to cut out bits of celluloid to fit it. So you've got your top fabric bit there to keep it tight. You've got your hood, and then you've got the bit you tie at the back. And there's your thing. Obviously, this is a mask just to prevent the wearer from inhaling fallout, not, you know, any sort of gases. And it's sort of designed to be thick enough that it would prevent your face burning off as well, potentially. I mean, if you're too close to a nuke, you're going to be fucked anyway. But yeah, I always kind of like this mask just because it's so ridiculously simple. So yeah, put that there, then that's that bit tight, pull this bit down, and then, yeah, you just hide a bit at the back. Yeah, I got some bots when there were people in Lithuania selling them to the UK for like £10. They were like £10 to £15. They weren't bad at all. But yeah, they're weird old creepy masks. And I kind of just like how simple the design is. Again, it's not going to do anything to prevent vapor, but the job of it is just literally to block particles. It was a civilian fallout mask, and they work quite well for that. It's one of those designs that's crap, but it's crap in a kind of enduring way. Because it actually is well-made crap, if that makes sense. I'm sure a lot of people are already confused what I mean by that, but when you start collecting and looking at enough masks, you'll really start knowing what, you know, how some can be overcomplicated crap, and then you can have something like that, which is, you know, super simple, but... let me look on eBay and see if there's any PTM still for sale, but bear in mind I bought mine like years ago. I did actually use it for hay fever at one point. It did block hay fever particles all right, so it's probably like the equivalent of an FFP2 mask, I'd imagine, the PTM. It's just like thick cotton stuff. But so far, searching PTM1, sadly there's no results coming up of actual PTM1s. Let's try Soviet dust mask. Again, it might be due to Corona. They've all fucking sold out. Yeah, sadly at the moment I can't see any on there. It was just at one point somebody in Lithuania seemed to just get a load of them. You know, like they probably did the thing of they found a crate with like 50 of them in, so they stuck them all on eBay cheap. Oh, have you found one, bots? Ah, cool. That's good. Oh yeah, it didn't turn up on the UK results, but yeah. $12 for it isn't bad at all. It's Latvia, so it's probably on. I reckon this is one of the same sellers, and yeah, that's the nice blue type. Yeah, the white one, I can't remember if it's from the same seller or different seller, but yeah, condition found in old factory warehouse. You know, so there you go. People in you know, parts of old Warsaw Pact in Eastern Europe, just trip over crates full of masks and weird shit. But yeah, the PTM's actually on that poster there. The woman's got it on there because that poster is literally, although there's a bit on like GP5s, Shum 62s and all that, and GP4s, the sort of kids masks. They've got a bit there on things like the Y2K, the P2, and all the other kind of improvised style masks, which is quite cool. Because the whole idea on that is, prevent inhalation of fallout dust, not prevent inhalation of chemicals. eBay, literally all my masks I normally get from eBay. Now and again, I've bought from Etsy and car boot sales and army surplus stores that I've physically been in. But it's nearly always just eBay. Yeah, people need to stop tempting me with new masks at the moment because, as I've said to some people, I'm going through the thing like a lot of people are going through at the moment, where my employer's literally saying, look, sorry to everybody, but we don't know if we can keep you on, just because when furlough ends, there might not be a job to go back to. So, I do need to be careful with my money, and I suppose, and not keep just splurging on gas masks, which can be pretty hard to do at times, when you keep seeing shit like that on eBay and you go, oh, cool, I just want to get another Geiger counter, or another cool thing that I really need to. Oh, that's annoying. So, Tritsky, did you get the one with the stuff that's like on that DPS 68 that has like the foil kind of zinc back screen, whatever it is? The stuff they replaced the radium with. But yeah, if you wanted it to actually use as a check source, that would be disappointing. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm afraid when people talk other languages, as much as I find your countries very interesting, generally, I can't really quickly translate your thing, so I have no idea what you're saying, I'm afraid. Yeah, it looks a bit like a plague doctrine, like weird bird beak mask, doesn't it, the PTM? But at the moment, I'm just in that period, like a lot of the other people where I work, of just kind of, waiting to find out, are we going to be made redundant? Because a lot of us don't know really at the moment. That's the thing. Ah, that's interesting. So that's a different one again then, Tritsky. That is interesting. Because, yeah, I had one. The one I had a backlight, but again, the backlight on it was just like what that has, where it's like that kind of foil that just had, a low voltage current passing through it to light it. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate that as well. But I don't want to sound like I'm begging for donations. I'm just saying I need to stop buying a lot of stuff for the meantime and just keep doing videos on stuff I've already got. But, anyway, the point was, the Furnez is worth £50 for definite, yeah. It's a good panoramic mask. It's not the best panoramic mask, but it will protect you. Sabadi says, me like British from Indonesia. I've never been to Indonesia, but hello to you. I hope everybody in your country's all right at the moment. How's Indonesia doing for Corona? I know obviously Indonesia's got a very big population. Well, Jack, a gas mask, if you mean like rubber and, all those masks are better. Oh, well, they're out trying to super chat each other. But thank you again, Chris. But yeah, I was gonna say, obviously, if you've got masks, if you've got a rubberized mask, that's always better. Don't get me wrong. My favourite gas mask is still the Avon CT12, but at the moment it's in its satchel. It's not out cluttering behind me at the moment, so I'm afraid. Yeah, I've been to Hungary. I went to Budapest. I'm trying to think, did I go to anywhere else in Hungary other than Budapest? But for the most part, it was just Budapest for a couple of days. That was before I then went to... it was Austria after Hungary, and it was Slovakia before Hungary, and it was Czech Republic before we went to Slovakia. So yeah, it was, spending a couple of days in each thing, although in Slovakia we were just in the capital for a couple of hours. No, sadly I've not been to America AK-47, even though it's the country I most want to go to at the moment. Yes, I've got some new rum to try, 7SE. It's an interesting taste. Yes. Although weirdly, I reckon the cheapo one I bought from Aldi recently was the best one. Their rip-off of Kraken I thought was the best one. What do they do then, Richard? Do you mean an actual catalogue full of stuff, or do you mean stuff to do with direct current? Right. I'd say, Chris, my favourite rum, I'm either tempted to say Sailor Jerry or Lamb's, like Lamb's Dark Navy, or the Lamb's Spiced one that you can't get in many shops, which is actually 30%, not 40%. But in general, I prefer like spiced or dark rums. I don't like clear rums really, but I like them to have quite a taste to them. Yeah, weirdly, Audi and Lidl both do some quite good budget alcohol. I don't know if I'd trust if they did a single malt, if that would be good. But in terms of like their blended things, they taste fine because they just seem to have a good mix of spices and flavorings without being too strong. Oh, let me have a look. Henry, sorry, I missed that almost. So it says it's $59. I assume you have to pay postage, but that's a good price for it. Yeah, if you've seen my video on the Sperry and all the Furness, it is a good mask. Right, I will be fan made, but at the moment, the liver's not really my biggest concern. But yes, I appreciate your concern. Obviously, alcoholism is a thing, and there's lots of other things. But at the moment, I'm having like 5 units a day. In the UK, they say. I don't know if I actually said on this, but on lots of these, it says like men do not exceed whatever per day, women do not exceed this, and men is about 4 to 5 units per day. So I generally stick to the units, and there'll be times when I don't touch alcohol at all. I like tea. I like coffee as well, though. Sabadi. I like hard liquor. There's a lot of things I like. Weirdly, I'm going to be doing a video quite soon. I did say to people on Discord about this in the admin chat, but I'm going to do a political video soon. Why is that then? I've always wondered with Islam why alcohol is kind of banned, because are there other things that are allowed which is still like mind-altering substances, or is it the idea that it, would make you do... But, problem drinking is a problem. I will say that, But anyway, I was going to say I was going to do a politics video, but the thing is, it's a good one. It's basically just me clarifying that, I don't hate gay people, I don't hate black people, and all stuff like that. It's almost a video that shouldn't need to be said, but I'm just going to do it because I want to kind of say, look, if you're subscribing to me because you've got like horrible racist views and you think that maybe I have those views as well, no, I don't. Fuck off. Well, I think that's just called being a decent person, AJ, isn't it? But if you get it with free shipping, Henry, and it's like $50 to $60, go for it. It wasn't free shipping when I looked at that listing, but the thing is, the reason I'm just doing a video on that is just at the moment, it was mostly just because I've been listening a lot to the radio, and they've had a lot of black people phoning in on, a lot of this stuff for the Black Lives Matter stuff. And, while I think some of the protesting is over the top, what a lot of people have said they would, would be nice is if people who aren't racist would just clarify, out loud to other people that they don't, not in my name kind of thing. Then, yeah, I'm happy to do that. Oh, what did he say? I like quite a lot of different genres of music. as the Command and Conquer remaster came out the other day, and I've been playing shitloads of that so far, I'm getting a lot more back into industrial again, like rock industrial type music. Oh, loads, what the mod's doing. It's carnage there, but why was the guy hidden for just saying spooky stories? Can I unhide him? I'm gonna unhide him. 150 plus, Jack. I don't even know anymore. But anyway, the industrial, classical, metal, in general, I just like music if it sounds good. The worst gas mask I have is that Chinese pewter one where the straps ping off constantly. Yeah, unfortunately, Boldingtowski, there was some violence today, apparently, at one of the London marches. But most of them apparently have been completely peaceful, and, most people agree with them. There are people, obviously, at the moment saying, is it a good idea to have a protest or a march with coronavirus around? But most people, I think, have no problem with any of the stuff at the moment. What same mask, Peach? The Furnez one, the pewter one? Yeah, and I unhid you, Herazumu, because one of the mods hid you, I think, by accident. But thank you again, Chris, anyway. But, a respirator and good hygiene, Bob. Yeah, I think that's the problem, AJ, though, isn't it? With, pretty much all protests, there are people who do it legitimately for whatever reason, and then you get idiots who just want to smash stuff up and, whatever. Just, you had that, student tuition fee protests, there were people smashing up banks. When there were originally the non-violent protests before the 2011 riots started outside a police station, that was before the riots started. I think, sadly, pretty much every legitimate idea gets co-opted by people who just want to smash stuff up and cause trouble. Lazar, you can get them on eBay in the UK fairly easily. Did you say you were in one of the former Yugoslavian countries, like one of the Balkan nations? I've seen Black Sheep years ago, not seen it recently. I think they re-put on Shudder recently, but I saw it years ago. I've done loads of videos about GP5s, Dano, but as you can see, there's one there. There's the GP5M there, or PMG2, or Shum62U, or whatever it's called. Shum66? Is it actually? Shum66? I can't even remember now. But yeah, if you can get them cheap enough, they're an interesting mask, because they're the world's most mass-produced masks, and at least the Soviet Union did make, NBC respirators for their civilians, but... See, stuff like that is really fucked up, isn't it, Green Man? Yeah, there's a child in a burning house and firefighters are blocked there by protesters. There we go. Bots has answered you. The GP5M's real name is the Shum66MU. So basically, to explain to people that don't know this, with Soviet masks, the face piece itself has a name, and then the filter and the kit has a name. So with the GP5, everybody calls it that, but the GP5 actually refers to the filter kit. Because on that poster, it says RN5 quite a few times. But I think it also might have the... I'm seeing because I've obviously got the civil defence poster here. Does it have Shum 62 or 66 on the poster anyway? See, that one says AN6M, whatever it is. I know it's not AN, but for one of the PDF style masks. AN6. I think that says mask of the, GP5 on that bit, but yeah. The point is it's, it depends if you want to argue semantics, doesn't it? But everybody knows what you mean by a GP5. But yeah, technically the face piece has its own designation. Right, Nick. In years past, there used to be masks for dogs, at least for military dogs made. Whether or not anybody makes masks still for dogs or cats, I don't know. I think I did see some police responder dog masks recently, but the main answer is not really no. do you mean when you're breathing out, Beagle? Because if you breathe out, yes, even masks with an anti-fogging system tend to fog a bit just because of the, like all of the warm air coming out of your mouth. As long as it's still airtight, it's not a problem. But no, this sounds very interesting, Green Man. Let me Google it. Yeah, you can still get horse masks fairly easily on eBay. They just cost a bit. Ooh. That is nice. Oh, but apparently one crashed when I looked at that's from April. But that is a really cool plane, isn't it? I really like Delta Wings, or whatever you call them, with the Vulcan as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, Mike, you'd be right there. I'm pretty sure, yeah, you can get like animal carriers that have filtration systems built into the carrier, and I know you can get like tent things as well. So everybody in the family, including the pets, can sit in a tent where the air is going through a blower unit that's got a filter on it. But yeah, I mean, in terms of like masks that you actually tie onto your dog or cat, I don't think many people make those anymore. There's a message I can't understand, so I assume it's hola as in hello in Spanish. The only other bit I know about, I can see in there, is something about sarin. Sarin gas. You're asking what masks are resistant to sarin gas? I'm just trying to break down the words. In general, sarin doesn't really penetrate masks. Like nerve agents don't really break down masks. It's just they're really dangerous in terms of they touch your skin, they get you. Yeah, Myra, we also found out recently, didn't we, sell a SOEX Geiger counter for like a 50% markup with a different name. And it's orange, not green. Okay, wow, that's worth 50% more, isn't it? I'm waiting for the Myra P soon, which will be this, with like a bit of marker pen over it. That probably says Myra there. Actually, it'd be Myra there, wouldn't it, instead of EcoTest? One of these. The shining helmet you're looking at is probably this one. It's a German firefighter's helmet. I've done a video on it. It's basically a Stahlhelm shell, but it's made out of aluminium. But basically, with similar tooling for the old steel World War II Stahlhelms, they made them out of aluminium, painted them with fluorescent paint, and then gave them for firefighters. I think eventually they were kind of shunned out of using them because, it makes the firefighters look like Nazis. But they're cool helmets. I mean, I think they are really cool helmets because basically I've taken the visor off of it because I didn't have the complete visor kit for it. But basically, it's got the leather neck protector at the back. You'd normally have a visor mounted to it at the front, which is kind of like a clip-on visor. It wasn't designed around the helmet, and it's just a standard helmet liner. Yeah, from what I've heard of tear gas, you just want to use lots of water, don't you? I wouldn't really want to put milk in my eyes, in all honesty. Oh, yeah, it has a custom strap on this, doesn't it, as well, which is kind of weird. You buckle it through here, I think, and then it buckles around onto itself and clasps. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's a weird helmet. But yeah, if you can find these cheap on eBay, now and again you can get them from like Germany, or other people have got them for sale and they only want like 20 quid for them. They're pretty cool for that. I've not used any Wassers, obviously, but they're AK platforms, aren't they? Well, the thing is, the M10, as much as it's not a brilliant mask, it's okay if you just wanted it for protection from particles and stuff like that. Well, thankfully, there wasn't many riots today. There's a bit of violence apparently outside, is it Houses of Parliament or 10 Downing Street at the moment? But for the most part, it's apparently been very peaceful. Right, there there are some really cool World War II museums in the UK, Bowling Telsky. The best museum I would recommend is Bovington Tank Museum, or just a tank museum. They've got lots of World War I, World War II, and Cold War tanks there. Lots of them in good condition. They do demonstrations with some of the tanks, driving them around. Imperial War Museum in London has quite a lot of good stuff, but Bovington Tank Museum is probably the best one in terms of just the sheer amount of cool stuff they've got there. It's like the second biggest tank museum in the world. But yeah, I just find this cool because, you know, it's a glow-in-the-dark stout helm. And I suppose it doesn't have Nazi connotations either, which makes this one nice. There are riots in every country, AK-47. You know, I don't think there's... You'd have to come up with a particular, you know, example and ask, but some riots are over really stupid shit, in all honesty. You're on a combination filter then, Wolfie, because tear gas is a particle threat, but chlorine gas, I think, is an inorganic vapor. Soviet oxygen supply mask. Right, let me Google it and see if I can work out what it is. I'm assuming it's not like a firefighter's mask. eBay, you said. Although saying that, it could be Chinese buzzwords, couldn't it? There's an IP5 I'm seeing. There's some really cool old MiG fighter helmets. I'm not sure which particular one. But yeah, I'm seeing some old cool kind of fighter pilot helmets. And I'm also seeing some rebreathers. I don't know which one was the particular one you were looking at. Oh yeah, Royal Armouries is in Leeds, isn't it? Survival Channel. Oh yeah, there is a really cool tank museum in. Isn't that the one that also has lots of the Russian prototype or Soviet prototype tanks, Hiku? But yeah, that would be really cool. Let me Google it. Sunstrom's meant to be a very good company, Beagle, but I don't know if I haven't got any Sunstrom masks, because when I tried to buy them to do a review of them was when everything was out of stock. I don't know why I'm going on maps. Sunstrom safety. Is it one of their 40mm filters? But regardless, if it's sealed well, it should be good. I know Sunstrom's meant to be a very good company. I'm clicking link. Don't make me regret it. Oh, I'm doing the stream in Chrome today. Has it started lagging out yet? Because I've only just realised. Oh, I've done it in Chrome. That's just like a half face respirator, isn't it? Which connects to a hose. Doesn't look like an awful design, in all honesty. It certainly isn't an oxygen mask unless it was connected to an oxygen supply. Well, it's with a Polish filter in the picture. That's a Polish MS4 filter by the look of it in the picture. So, is it actually a Soviet mask or is it Polish? Yeah, the straps look like the Polish MC1 straps as well. I'm guessing that is from Poland, actually, looking at some of the components in it. Also, some FP211 filters came up in the FP203 filters came up in the recommended thing. Now, as I've already said, Green Man, my favourite would be Bovington Tank Museum, but a few other people have said different things. The thing is, I don't really sell anything, Kelly. That's the thing. What I do, basically, is I just try and get a wide variety of old surplus stuff to review. You know, some of it, like some of those Geiger counters, etc., are completely ineffectual for most people. I just find them interesting to have a look at. But that's the kind of thing I don't really like. I don't like the idea of selling stuff, because then I'll be more opinionated on certain brands. You know, I like the idea of I'll just buy something and then I'll let you know if I think it was good or crap. Right, Peach. if you're ever around Oxford, the Pitt Rivers Museum and the Natural History Museum are like attached to each other, but the Pitt Rivers is actually the bit I find more interesting. They've got the entire either second or third floor there is entirely dedicated to guns, crossbows, armor, all that sort of stuff. So you'd probably find a lot of that interesting. The Ashmolean in Oxford now actually has a bit of like stuff on like medieval kind of weapons and that, but it's just kind of more in, well, they've just got lots and lots of stuff in there. It just kind of, they've got a few bits that aren't paintings now, that are kind of physical artifacts. But yeah, you won't be able to link them, Morphe, because it's a stream. Sadly, there's no way you can do it. What was sent? Oh, I see. Bots is fucking about saying he sent a comment at 3:30. I'm nowhere close to Lancaster, I'm afraid, Eric, so I can't recommend you anything. If anybody else knows anything in the chat, they might be able to post it, but I'll only be on about another 10 minutes. It's gone. 45 minutes has gone quick tonight, saying that. Yeah. I'm sure you all agree the DP-3 is cool. This rum is alright. I'd still probably buy the Audi rum over this one, but on offer it wasn't bad. I'll check the comments later, Wolfie, but if you've put a link in there, sometimes YouTube just deletes them and marks them as spam, and I can't even see them anyway. I'm starting to slur my speech now. Well, regardless, I'm sure my Russian viewers won't be offended by the fact that I'll turn on a Russian DP-3 while I'm slurring my speech, because Russian equipment is so simple you don't need to read instructions to operate it. Now, something interesting in that, I've just noticed, I think there's some little UV lights. Oh yeah, there is, look. Is that radium? That might be radium. I'll have to check out the Geiger in a minute. But yeah, there's some glow-in-the-dark stuff on each of the indicators. Let me check that before I turn it back on. Oh, thank you very much, Divan V. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Did you try and send a picture or a message? Because if you did, it didn't load. It's got like an orange square next to the main square. But AJ says time's fun when you're time flies when you're having rum. I agree. Thank you very much, Max, as well. Oh, it says, you are amazing, but it's orange and I can't really see it, but thank you. Right, let's find out if that is radium on there. Right, good, it's not. Okay, it's just some other type of paint, but yeah, let's flick this back on anyway. You'll find this interesting, Max, because you like Geiger counters. Old Soviet DP-3 Rontganometer on the wall. Oh, that's why doing a stream earlier in the day, bots, is better for me now, because if I stream earlier in the day, it's before I decide to start drinking. But thank you very much, Divan V. Thank you very much, Max. I wish I did own a bunker. I do want to buy an ROC bunker because they're actually cheaper than buying like a shitty dilapidated flat in the UK. But there's that. So yeah, you won't be able to see the scale on it, unfortunately, on the webcam. But that is a Soviet DP-3 Rontganometer there. Why's the needle moving? The needle's moving. Shouldn't be doing that. Right. I hope that was just it playing up a bit, because if on the X1 scale that was literally doing that with a needle, it means I'm being exposed to like half a Rontgen to a Rontgen per hour of radiation. And very odd. It's probably just it warming up, but yeah, Max, the video for that, if you're interested, is I think next Friday that comes out. I think it's Friday. Yeah, that's why you're on about the ROC bunkers, Oliver, just because they're a lot more affordable than the shitty house. But yeah. But the amazing thing is, this has to be even bigger than some of my scintillation probes. Look at this thing. So yeah, that's the probe on this thing. It's huge. But yeah. Oh, did it work all right, Shot Zombie? Sorry, I saw you said something about an M45 earlier, but I think I misread the comment and I've been drinking. But yeah, did your mask work all right? If there was tear gas being shot near my house, I would definitely go outside to do a video of a load of gear on to test if it worked. Yeah, that's because it's actually the Soviet way of assembling a probe, and then rather than little GM tubes in it, it's a giant ion chamber on the end of the probe. So I think a CDV7, yeah, because basically what it is, it's like if you have a, oh, I tidied it up. Oh, woe is me. Fucking hell, because I tidied everything up the other way, I was used to when there was a pile of junk down there, and it's not there anymore. I was going to say, this is like my CDV 715's ion chamber that just is laying down there. Oh, it's not there anymore. But yeah, it's like the ion chambers out of a CDV 715, just on the end of a pole with a load of resistors and everything else. Cool, Van V. Let me search them now so I remember to look for them and not forget. Paul Harrell's probably my favourite gun channel, and obviously he's an American one, but videos. There's ValentFirearms.com or .net. Is it that one? Oh, I found it. YouTube. It's the top one. Right, let me subscribe him. There we go, and I'll tick the bell as well. I'm glad it worked, Shots on me. Anyway, I'll head off now because it's close enough to an hour. But yeah, the DP-3 works. It arrived. It works after 2 days of them saying we're going to deliver today. Oh wait, we're not going to deliver today. I'm sure I could slur more, AJ, if I went on for longer drinking, but I'm not going to. That'd be irresponsible. Oh, you want me to say that? She sells sea-cells on the shop floor. She sells sea-cells on the shop floor. I think that one came up before, didn't it? Or at least the seashells. Sea-cells isn't as hard to say. Bob X says, thank you very much. He said, so you busy like a bee or sexy like a stick? I'm isolated in lockdown. So, not really either, I'm afraid. I'm busy doing a bit of DIY and tidying up the room. That's been about it. I Spy Spooky Mansion is great. I wish it worked on Windows 10. Pops, have you played I Spy Spooky Mansion? That was a good game. One of those like hidden object games. But yeah, I know what you're getting at with that. My favourite mask is the Avon CT12, although recently I've been really falling in love with this because it's nice that China's finally made a really, really good mask. Weapon Collector says, try this. She sells D-cells at the Torch Store. Torch Store. She sells D-cells at the Torch Store. That's not actually as hard. Maybe it's just because C-cells, D-cells, I end up saying a lot when I do Geiger counter or, flashlight videos. But anyway, thank you, everybody. It's been a really good stream tonight. I've really enjoyed it. Hope your stomach's healing up all right, Mike. And hopefully the stream's not lagged out like crazy because obviously I have been streaming on Chrome tonight and then I forgot that I was streaming on Chrome. I should have streamed on Opera. But das vidania, yeah, Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. Arrivederci, or whatever it is in Italian. see your